Good morning. Hello. Hi, Emily. Good morning. How are you? Welcome to Creative Morning. This is our last Creative Morning of June, and I'm still trying to figure out how we're going to do it in July because I think I want to keep it going, but I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Good morning. Today we are going to be drawing in our sketchbook. What a surprise, right? Another day, another sketchbook spread. So I have some images and I have an idea, but not super sure. Thank you. I wore this special for today. But I really need more patches. Like I started this shirt jacket thingy like a long time ago, and I did it in my classroom like as a project. We were doing embroidery, so I just like practiced like embroidering doodles and stuff on my shirt, and yeah, I kind of like forgot about it, haven't done more. I need to add more because patches are very in right now, and this is like my shirt is from like maybe I don't know, like maybe like 5 years ago, or I want to say 10, but I don't know. Time flies when you're a teacher. Anyway, let's get going. I have some pictures. I'll show you the new stuff. It's also on the classroom. You should do it, Emily. I think it's like a really fun. I'm really glad that this kind of like maximal, like we're moving away finally from the whole like beige is the only cool color, and like everything has to be really sleek and very clean. And I love that, we're kind of um enjoying and appreciating like texture and like life, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I think you should make I want to make my own patches too. How do you think we do that? Should we discuss that today? All right, let me show you what I have in mind. I already posted them on Patreon. Did you already see them, Emily? I'm not sure. If you saw them, let me know. I was really kind of thinking about this idea that's floated around in my head for a long time now, but like ribbons and regalia, right? This idea of like, I wanted to draw ribbons and I thought that might get a little redundant, but I think it'll be a fun exercise. And I also think it's really like challenging. And by ribbons, I mean those like, award ribbons, things like that, right? Well, let me see if I can make this look a little better because my computer's visible. We don't need that. Out of there. See if I can get this. There we go. There we go. Okay. So then I was just thinking about like, I'm still in the Girl Scout kind of campy vibe. And actually I was going to show you, I did another spread. I don't know if I posted this on Patreon. Did I? You tell me. Okay. So I did this one this weekend. So this is the one we left off on. And then I started this one with all of those other pictures that I had there, which I really enjoyed. But I was asking myself, I know I love a sketchbook spread, right? But I was also asking myself, like, why do we have to force so many images on one page? Like, that's what the sketchbook is for. Look at all these pages I have. I can draw, I can take up space in here. So I'm going to kind of spread them out a little bit more today and, kind of talking about the idea of turning our doodles and stuff into other things. I wanted to show you something else. Let me grab something I worked on this weekend. So I have a little mess back here. But okay. So as you might recall, this is what we did on June 25th. I was like, I didn't stamp it. I thought. Okay. And so then I really wanted to use this to make like stationery, right? Because I kind of wanted to make stationery, right, for my my shop, right? So I'm a stationery girl. I've always been since I was a little kid. I love stationery. I remember being obsessed with the Hallmark store. That was what I always asked for my birthday, was like things from the Hallmark store, and they had like stationery and cards, and I really like Sanrio. So anyway, I wanted to make stationery, right? So I took these little guys and I turned them into this like sheet of stationery, and I made these like lined envelopes, which were really fun to make. And then I made some little like, I don't know, seals or something, right? And so I was thinking about how, let me see if I can find that for you here. So this was my vision, right? Stationery sheets, lined envelopes, seals. You got your markers. Oh, Emily, what do you think about them? Tell me everything. So one of the reasons why I think it's a good idea to also kind of like spread out in our sketchbook is just because like it's hard to take these like drawings that are kind of all like squished together. And I know I said that I would talk to you about that. So I'm thinking that that's what we should do in July. I should talk more about how I turn things like this into things like stationery, right? So we'll kind of talk about that in July, like as part of July's Patreon. Just so that way, you know, I can share that with you. I know a lot of people have questions about it, and I'm happy to share it. Yes, I made those, right? So I wanted to just kind of like figure out a way to, you know, use the drawings that we make in a more efficient way. So I did this one this weekend and I really like it. This is my favorite. And the sleeping bag was my favorite. What can I use that for? I don't know. I had so much trouble with the patches. I think that's something I probably need to practice. Like, I'm not sure exactly how to capture the patchiness of them. So I think that's something I should work on. And this was such a nightmare. I'm like, I have to find better ways to draw that. So I have, again, more stuff that I can use to make stickers, or I mean, I just usually make stickers out of my drawings. Whatever I make, like, it's a sticker of shoes. Like, who wants a sticker of shoes? I don't know, but I mean, if I like it, I figure somebody else likes it. That sleeping bed looks comfy, right? I know it does. It looks plush, right? I feel like I did a really good job. I'm very proud of this sleeping bag. I know it's like not much, but I am proud of it. They look similar to wax seals. Yeah, that's what I was trying to go for. I think maybe I even need to do like more wax sealy. But that being said, I would like to maybe spread out a little bit more in my sketchbook. I'm not going to crowd them as much as or I'm going to try not to. Sometimes that happens anyway. I have a tendency to draw pretty big, and it's hard sometimes for me to like go small. So whether I like it or not, like, and maybe I just need to go into a bigger sketchbook. But then I feel like if I have a bigger sketchbook, if I use like one of my nicer sketchbooks, I feel like it doesn't feel as like I'm not as willing to take as many risks. I don't know if that's really true. I think I've really come a long way from the time when I used to be very like particular about how everything looks, and now I'm a little bit braver. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to spread out a little bit more, and I want you to know why. I also really want to, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out a color scheme that I feel like I'm going to enjoy. I'm trying to experiment and explore color a little bit more. But I don't know, I still feel like I'm kind of like going towards the same colors. I do think we should do some color exercises. I think I did one the beginning of this month in June. I gave you guys a little PDF that was all about getting like inspired from colors in pictures. And I gave you some pictures and some exercises for how to like, pull out the colors from the images and, experiment with how you put them together. So that's a good thing for me. I guess that's something I still need to work on. Like if I look at these pictures, sometimes I go like, wow, I love the colors. But then I end up choosing photos that all have the kind of colors I already like. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Okay, so I'm going to try, I think I want to do something. I've been using a lot of green, so I kind of feel like I should move away from that. But it's like, hello, that's like quintessential Girl Scouts, right? So lo and behold, I'm going to use green again. So I used green and blue here and brown, and then I used green and orange here. So maybe I'll do like, I don't know, green and red. That might work well. Well, I kind of already did that here. I feel like this is already that, kind of. All right, I don't know, maybe purple. I hate purple. I used to say I hate purple, but I don't hate purple. Let's be real. I like it. Okay, what about, I really want to use green, but I think I'm going to do orange and red. Let's do oranges and reds. I really like orange and red together. I think they look really great. I'm going to start out with this like light creamy color and I'm going to sketch. So I have a lot of pictures. Let me show you just in case you're not looking at the Patreon. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm really interested in this one right here. So maybe we'll start with that one. I like this one too. The hat. I still have this one. This was from leftover from last week, but I like it still. And I don't know if I showed you that one. Yeah, this one too. Okay, so I really like the bandana though. It's so cute. Okay, let's start with the bandana because I feel like, sorry, I got to go all the way through. I don't think I can come back. That's really cute though. I'm going to start with the bandana. I like the bandana. Okay, there she is. So I'm going to start with the bandana. I have these on a device on the side of my screen right here. So you can see I have my iPad handy so that I can see them up close and I can, you know, play with them. I really love to draw fabric. I like when there's pattern. I like the challenge of, you know, folded fabric with pattern. I don't know. I don't do it like that well, I don't think, but I think I do just enough, right? That's kind of my style. I do just enough. That's it. I'm not going to do too much. I'm going to do just enough, just the bare minimum. So I'm just going to kind of sketch it out and I'm going to just let it take up space here. So, and of course you already know that I'm very, brave, I guess, with my markers, and I'm not super concerned about making a mistake, and that definitely might happen. And I am just willing to draw over it. So if you feel more comfortable or confident, or you will enjoy the process more, start with a pencil sketch. That might make you feel a little bit more comfortable. But I don't usually use them, so yeah, I do. I just solve problems on the fly as they arrive, because they will arrive. Like I realize it's too small, so I'm just going to stretch out a little bit more. So at this point I have a lot of lines, which might be a little bit distracting for some people. So I'm going to put something in here. What I do, and this is not to say that this is the way to do it, right? Everybody do it their own way, but because I put so many lines in and it can be a little hard to follow what I'm doing, even for me, I just I try to put in, as I always call them, some landmarks, right? So there's this kind of like corn looking, I don't know, pattern. It looks like corn to me from what we're seeing, and it's right here. So I'm just going to put that in there, and it's just a way for me to kind of remember what section that is. It helps me to figure out where things go from there. So I always like some sort of a landmark just to help me make sense of all the lines. Now I have this section right here, which I think is going to be really good for me to make sense of the space again, but it is very convoluted because I already added a lot of lines in there. So that's why I didn't do it there. Because it's already kind of confusing me, and like I can already tell I'm gonna have to use my brain here, and heaven forbid I have to use my brain because it is already giving me trouble. Well, trouble, is it trouble? I don't know. It's already giving me a challenge, let's say. Okay, so I'm gonna just like put this in right now, and I'm going to kind of like bounce around our reference images so I can figure out where I want to put everything else. So I think I'm going to switch over to, I'm just on my iPad. I'm going to move over here because I want to make room for this guy. So I'm going to put it here, and it's pretty like square. So I got to keep that in mind. Like I need the space to occupy like kind of a square shape, and that way I can just kind of know where it's going to go. And again, use as many pages as you want. It's your sketchbook. You have a lot of pages. It's very fresh. You want to start filling some of that up. Draw one image per page. I do kind of have them, occupy a similar space. So that's why I kind of stack them up, but you don't have to do that. I feel like I also kind of like squished it. Looks a little too stumpy for me. Maybe I can, and I also feel like it's a good idea to let them like go off the page. Like they don't have to fit. What's so wrong about that? Hi, Sarah. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. We got started and we talked a little bit about, making room for things in our book. So I just kind of drew it a little bit longer. I don't know how I feel about, I have a tendency to feel real funny about things landing really like perfectly on the edge. And I don't like that. Like that, I don't know why. It just will bother me. Even like that closeness kind of bothers me. So I might make some adjustments where like if I could bring it up and make this a little bit higher. Actually, I think that could work here. Just right here, just bring it up. So you guys, June is coming to an end today, and I'm wondering, how are we feeling about the end of Creative Mornings? How do you feel about us moving to not Creative Mornings, but Creative Evenings? I was thinking about like switching the time for June, just so that, people who maybe, or how about noon? We could do like creative afternoons, crafternoon. Okay, I'm going to put in another one. This is what I'm working on next. Let me see that one. Kind of looking at this. I'm not sure I like all the objects on these, but I like the shape of them, and I like that they are, they kind of resemble like, I don't know, kind of like accolades. I don't know, ribbons at, military kind of ribbon things, or, some sort of structured organization ribbons. I just like the way, but I like that they're like crafty and they are, a little bit more colorful. And well, I feel like those ribbons are colorful too, but like feminine maybe even. Okay. So I have these here, 3 things. I have a little bit of extra space. Maybe I'll do a little bit, and of course I'm just sketching right now to figure out where everything's gonna go. I really like this little, I can go back and forth. I'm sorry. I'm learning new things. You're starting your job July 13th, so you want to make sure you can attend. Okay, excellent. Well, tell me what time you like, Emily. I know I think, was it you, Emily, who said that you're good on times? You just want to know like consistent, like you want the same time. I think I'm going to just make room here for like a patch. But I'm going to change what it says. But I had a lot of trouble. Put camp sketch a lot. That's what I'm calling us right now. Sketch a lot. I feel like I shouldn't put that there. I'm going to change it up a little bit. But that way we can, use some of that space. And again, what was this one right here that I was drawing? Wait, let me find it. That one. I can try drawing them because the patches were really hard for me. I have a little bit of room left. Not that everything has to be full, but wait, maybe I won't do this because I really want to draw that little girl. This one right here. Let me see if I can find it. Something funny happened there. That one. That's so cute. I literally love it. You're going to be working Monday to Wednesday that's BCST, right? Thursday to Saturday is great. Okay, wonderful. That's usually when we do our club meetings and our Live streams are usually at the end of the week. For me, that works well too. So that's good to know. A different time sounds good. We'll try to make it. Okay. I'm thinking about maybe like I think afternoon works really nicely because I know that people overseas or not in not in Central Time Zone. Let's say that that sometimes they can't attend because the time is really tricky, and I know that like noonish or like 2ish is really kind of a really good like middle of the road kind of time. So maybe we'll do something like that. I don't know. I don't love this. I hate drawing a silhouette. It is so hard for me. You cannot do weekends. Okay, good to know. Thank you, Gina. No weekends. Yeah, I don't want to do weekends either. I kind of want, I love to draw on the weekends, but I like to also like have the weekends off if I can. Just in case like I'm out of town and stuff like that. So I'm thinking like weekdays, maybe towards the end of the week, and then evenings are good. Okay. So here I have a few things drawn out. I do have what I feel to be kind of like an awkward space here, but I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna see how it plays out. We'll see. Now now that I have them kind of laid out, I will start to draw. So let me find my original image. I could put an arrow there maybe in this weird space, but okay, I'm gonna start with this one, which is the one I really want to draw. I've been thinking about it, like, like oh, I just love it. Hi Gina, you had the dog at the vet for puppy urgent care. Oh no, is your dog okay? Okay, I'm gonna do, and I just really want to do that blue now that I'm seeing it, but should I? No. You had a plan, Erica. Stick with the plan. Really want to do. I really want to switch to blue, but I've been doing so much blue. I feel like I should like branch out. Okay, I'm gonna use red, and I said I was gonna use red and orange, which I think is a good like red, pink, and orange. I feel like always looks really good together. My only kind of worry is that I feel like red and orange are both really dark. So I don't know. Pink will be our light, orange will be our mid-tone, red will be our darks. We'll see how that goes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start on this little guy right here and just see where this goes because I already see some challenges. Now, today is... So I already feel like I made a mistake. Probably shouldn't have gone all the way in with the darks. We'll see how this goes. Okay. Sorry, I feel like this requires my attention right now. Yeah, this is definitely making my brain work. Okay, there. I kind of feel like I found where things go. I don't know. Maybe not yet. Hold on. There's still the possibility of trouble here. There we go. It's funny because I sketched it, but like for me, that's just a suggestion. So I feel like when I come back in with another color, like I'm also really sketching again. It's not like set in stone just because I have that original sketch for me. I don't follow it necessarily. I feel like I'm correcting still. It's still a very active process for me. You have to watch the replay for the beginning. Yes. Yeah, the replay will be available like, well, the lovely thing is that I don't really have to do anything. I just, end stream and then bada bing, bada boom, it's there. Which is why I love that. Like, with our club meetings, usually I have to go and like download the recording and then upload it to YouTube and then make a thumbnail. And, it's a little bit more involved, but with this process, like, it's so convenient. That's why I think I really like the YouTube platform. Okay, so I did put those little landmarks in there, so I kind of want to, as best I can, unless they're totally off, I'm going to try to honor that placement that I included there. So we'll see if it makes sense. I think it does. I think so. Seems to be working out so far. Sometimes when you're drawing and you start noticing that something's not aligned right, like that's when I make adjustments. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see that, Gina. Let's see. Yes, he injured his knee. Oh, no. I thought I'd be back by 11, but didn't get home until 20 after. No worries. You can check out the replay. I'm sorry to hear it. I hope he's okay. Was he kind of like limping? Because, it's so funny. And I always think about like veterinarians. I'm like, man, they have such a hard job. Like the dog really can't tell, or whatever, the animal can't really tell you anything. So you're just kind of, having to use so many other ways of figuring out if the animal, like what's wrong with the animal, there's just I just feel like that's such a hard job. Okay, I'm going to already just kind of start here with this pattern, and I think maybe a good way to tackle something like this will be to kind of break it up into like more shapes. So this little pattern at the bottom, I'm going to break it up into like the horizontal kind of floral pattern and then the vertical one. So that will hopefully help me to kind of place it in the right place. I don't know, we'll see. And I did put a middle line, which I think will help. So in between these lines, there'll just be like a little shape there. It's very, very general at this point, and that's because I'm just figuring it out. And the nice thing also is that you can just sketch it in, because we're going to use the red is going to be kind of filling in those spaces. Let me see. Yes, okay. So we got this. Okay, I'm just blocking these in, hoping that they're gonna make sense later. I do have such a fondness for pattern when it folds and bends and stuff like that. So I really kind of enjoy that, but I enjoy it, but I always struggle with it. So, and the good thing is that I think sometimes when these things are kind of folded and bent, you don't get to see a lot. So you can really kind of make them up. I always think that it's just really important to include that sort of curved shape. He's a wild baby. I think he twisted it, tormenting the cat, or vice versa. But he screamed through the whole house. Oh no. Yeah, I could see why. Yeah, why you would be freaked out by it. I would be freaked out by it. I'd be and that will just kind of stress me out. Okay, we have to. My dog is a little bit chaotic energy, and she's always been like that, but she's a senior now. She's 12. But she's a border collie mix, so she's still very high energy even though she's old. And I remember one time she had a broken nail, and I panicked because it was she was licking it and it was bleeding. It had a little bit of blood, and I was all freaked out. And then I took her to the vet, and they were like, it's a broken nail, it's fine. And they really were just kind of, I felt silly, but when the dog is I get freaked out when my dog is freaked out. Dogs, we literally don't deserve them. They're so good. Okay. So, I'm not sure if I really want to go all the way in here and start. I'm going to just start adding some red in. I was already going to do the red. So I think I'll probably just stick with the two colors that I started with. And actually, you know what? I'm so glad I didn't do that. I'm gonna not do red yet because the red, I think I'm gonna use it for more like a shadow. So I need something a little, I'm gonna scale back a little bit and choose something that's going to give me a little bit more flexibility. So I don't, you know, automatically have the darkest color there. So let's do this guy. I don't think I've really used this one. It's kind of like this corally. And I can see that I can probably fill this in pretty safely here, but then come in and add something a little darker. Actually, I think I'm going to have an in-between here too. No, I thought this would be darker, and it is not. Maybe here. I feel like this should have come this way. And I feel like I need something really light for where the light strikes. I don't think that's that much lighter. So Emily, how do you feel about your markers? Do you like them? A 9-month-old Chihuahua. Yeah, they are. Especially they're so small. They're delicate, but they are a little ferocious, you know. My other dog, who is definitely a senior, his birthday's tomorrow actually, and he is a Chihuahua Poodle mix, and he is going to be 15. He's, you know, he was never really as crazy as his litter mates. He's always been more like skittish. And he was my dad's dog, but now he lives with me. You know, I'm getting kind of like, I just need to fill this in. Oh, I'm getting overwhelmed. I'm feeling overwhelmed by this. And I'm like, oh, I really like drawing this kind of stuff. Really? Do you, Erica? I'm like, rethink that statement, girl. Okay, let's see. I'm going to just see if I can kind of turn them into negative spaces. So I'm just going to go around or between. Oh, you know what? That's probably a good way to do it. Like sketch it in with your light color and then like fill it in betweens. If you feel like some of the colors look very similar. Yeah. I think, did you swatch them? Like, you know, they give you this like little sheet thingy. Did you swatch them so you could see? Because I feel like they're very subtle sometimes. And then sometimes they're like, I mean, obviously they don't always like match, right? And that can be really, you know, annoying. You know, with all the technology we have today, how do we still have cap colors that don't match the ink? Like, if we're going to use AI for something, can't we use it for something like that? Something useful. Like, help us to see the colors right. Probably can't detect the color. Okay. I really like the colors. I'm like, okay, good job, Erica. Because at first I was like, I'm not sure. But now I'm feeling like I like them because they're like, I don't know, kind of definitely. I feel like they're colors that I really like automatically, but I haven't really used them in a while. So I feel excited about that, I guess. Let me try to just kind of go around these things. That's what will be my strategy because I am feeling like, you know, Job Bluth in, what is that, Arrested Development? I made a huge mistake with this, including this object in here. I'm sorry. I apologize to you guys. Like, it's not easy. Like, maybe we have like unlimited time, right? No big deal. We honestly, we do, right? We'll draw as much as we can. It's already 10:40. Dang. How did that happen? And we'll finish whatever we don't finish on another day. I can do another. I will tell you, I did already schedule 2 more live streams. So tomorrow and, so this is my base color. And then that's like not, let's see what this looks like. Oh, this is better. I need a dark. I was like, what am I going to use? And that's not dark really. Okay, so sorry. Let me catch up on the chat. Yeah, very faint differences. I think that can help with shadows and highlights. Yes, for sure. It's a matter, I think, of like keeping track of which ones kind of complement each other in that way. 120. That is amazing. I mean, it's funny because I already feel like I have too many markers, but I do think like, I think I could do something with those 120. If I had, I had the 72. If I had another 50 markers, I mean, I feel like I might be unstoppable. Who knows? You got this. That's so exciting though. I love like a new supply. Okay, let me see what I can put in. So I'm already starting to use this one for my shadows. Oh, you like the chisel shape. So the ones that you got, Emily, are they chisel tip or what shape do they have? You almost bought the Ohuhu, but they didn't come down in price enough for me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I feel like Prime Day doesn't even like they don't even really have good deals. I take that with a grain of salt, Prime Day stuff. Let's see. You like the Just Art ones too. And I've never used the Just Art ones. I feel like I need to try them. Morning just flew by. Yes, it really did. I mean, I kind of overslept. I woke up really early. My dogs wanted to go outside at 6 a.m. So they're usually my alarm clocks. But then I went back into my bed and was like, you know what? Let me listen to a meditation or something. And then fell right back asleep. And I think I woke up at like 8, which is a good like snooze for me. Like that is sleeping in. And, I did say that was part of my summer bucket list was sleeping in. So I did it. I did it, guys. Wanted to snooze that alarm. And lo and behold, I did it. Okay. I'm going to... Okay, now I'm realizing this is like my middle, right? That's like a mid-tone. I still don't really have like a really nice light. I don't feel like it's light enough. Let me try it here. Well, maybe. It's kind of, I feel like I can see the contrast now, but I really also love to see like a little, oh, sorry, this is my light. I'm going to put it here so I keep track of it. And then my dark, I'm using this red. So let's try putting a little bit of that in there, right there. Just where we see it like really dark. I do love to see the like little bits of the white paper kind of showing through. Like that is something I enjoy. So I feel like it's really important for me not to like cover the whole thing. Gina, technically it's finished tomorrow, but I already did all my assignments. I was like, I just want to get this finished. So I finished. I feel like it was a lot of work, which was surprising because, she was so sweet. The professor, she was like, how do you all feel about this? Do you think you can do all this? And I was like, sure, that doesn't sound so bad. And then we started doing it and I was like, that was a lot of stuff. It was like, of course it's summer classes. So it's a little, expedited. No, what's the word I'm looking for? Accelerated. Right. So, and of course, it's, I think the majority of the work comes from it being like research, which I'm not great at. Like, I love to research on TikTok, but when you're looking for scholarly articles and, keeping track of research is really hard for me. I don't know if you guys would have the same experience, but, and I don't know why. I don't understand why. I don't think I knew. That's so weird. Like, I was talking to my classmate, one of my friends, and I was like, I just don't understand how everyone's doing this so easy. Like, it's actually like really hard work for me. Like, just researching, like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it would be a big deal, but keeping track of sources, like, where did I find that again? Who was that about? And I was doing research on three women artists of the 20th century, and I was making a virtual exhibit. And so I had to write like a catalog essay about how these, like, I had to construct a framework for how to view these works, and I wanted to approach it from like a very specific angle. This idea of like, and what my paper was about, my exhibition was about sketchbooks. Like, I love sketchbooks, right? So I researched sketchbooks and like how they've been used to, document, process, and practice, and also to, archive like lived experiences. And I specifically really wanted to research how, they might have been used to record the lives of women artists, particularly in the middle of the 20th century, when it was very challenging for a woman to establish herself as an artist. Yeah, I hate I hate research too. Yes, I've been thinking about that because I know that you need to. Well, I didn't know this, but I heard that you have to have a thesis in order to move on to a PhD program, which, I mean, I'm not saying that's what I'm going to do, but I mean, I don't want to close the door. I was like, and I'm not doing a thesis. So I thought, well, maybe I should do a thesis, but I, the thought of that kind of research is horrifying to me. I mean, the amount of reading, like, I'm not even like, I don't love, I like, I like to read for funsies, not like, that is not the kind of reading that I want to be doing all the time. And like that, some of those readings are really dense. So I don't know. I just felt like, I don't know how people were doing this. Like, how do people write articles so quickly, like with a quick turnaround? Like, what? I could never. And then like the amount of time I spent revising my papers, and I'm sure I'm still gonna have problems with it. Yeah, I feel like I don't think I could do it. I used to have to go to University of Penn to do art history research when I was in school. Oh, really? Yeah. Okay, so what did you study, if you don't mind my asking? I mean, I would love to talk more about this. Let's go. I have, and the thing is that I'm also doing my master's online. So, my resources, like, there's so many things, especially art books. I feel like art books are a lot of times like only available in person. So I don't have access to my institution's physical library. I mean, not that easy. I could go, but I have to, plan to go, and who's taking care of my dogs when I go out of town, that kind of thing. You went to school for anthropology and did field research in Ethiopia. Wow. I realize I hate serving, but I love helping others with their thesis. Yes, thank you so much. I need your help. How do you do research these days? I had to go to various libraries back in the 80s. I still do library research. A lot of it is still, I mean, there's a lot of stuff online. I will say that. I can only imagine, like, I remember being in my undergrad, and yeah, I would go to the library, and literally I had to be in the library. But now there's so much available online. So it's wonderful. Like, wow, what a time to be alive, right? That's one of the best things. But there's still so many things, I feel like, with art history in particular, that they still just come down to being, paper copies in books, in the library, in the stacks, and you really have to go there. You studied art and art ed and ended up working for the government. Okay. Amazing. That's interesting. So, what's your area of interest, if I might ask? Like, what do you particularly like? So, yeah, I felt like there was a lot of, yeah, the research part is not my favorite. I don't know how people finish it so fast. I really like, I, and I did it in my journal, like, where I just kind of write what's happening in the days and stuff. I did these little drawings of me like hunched over the computer because I felt like my back was like a letter C. I was like, I can't like this. Like it was just spending so much time on the computer, and I'm like, okay, first of all, my desk setup is not um what's that word that we use for it's good for your body. What is it? Yeah, this is, I mean, I think so too. I love to hear because I feel like this was the first class where my professor or a professor asked me, I mean, maybe not. We kind of got a taste of it in my previous class, but they asked us to, what's your vision, or how do you want to, like, think about the context of artworks. And specifically, my class was all about objects. It wasn't really necessarily about artworks, but we were exploring how objects are like embodied with meaning. And so we looked at a lot of contemporary works and how they utilize objects in a way that, asks the viewer to think about your relationship to the world that you live in, things like that. So it was super cool. I think personally, I thought it was very cool. Okay, here I'm gonna stop for a minute and kind of doodle out what I'm looking at here, because I really want to kind of cut in these little shapes here, but I need to have them kind of doodled in there. And I feel like I might have to pull out my old lady glasses, and I say that with a lot of love, because I am grateful to be at a place in my life where I need old lady glasses. Look at my old lady glasses. Because like some of this stuff is so little, and like my eyes, like she can't anymore. Now she's like, oh, you're too close. Okay. Because like I really want to get around these things, and ideally, if I can get around them, I get to get a little bit of a pop of that like white space, that negative space showing through. And I love that. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Oh Lord. I already see where I made mistakes. Okay. I think at some point I'll figure out a system here. I don't have a system yet. So it's just going to be like whatever happens, happens. And again, like I always say, like no one's going to look at your picture. I mean, you're just looking at the drawings, right? I'm drawing I'm trying to draw here like these little scraps here, but they're so like small, and so I was really trying to get in there. I'm trying to follow along, but my bandana needs something. Yeah, I feel like my bandana needs something too. Oh, my eyes are so itchy. Yeah, Sarah, I'm drawing the bandana, but the pattern is like, she's stressing me out. I feel like it's a good idea. Maybe I got a little hasty here, but probably would have been a good idea for me to kind of break it up into even smaller spaces first. Like here, like that little triangle, super helpful. And who knew that I needed that? And that would have helped me to make more sense of the space in the pattern. So go figure. I'm trying to follow along. Let's see. You're drawing the bandana too. Yes. It's hard, but I think it's a good challenge. Like, and if you don't get it right, like who cares, right? It's just a sketch. You started out being a fine artist, but I just love creating. I love plein air painting, sketching. Yes, exactly. I also love creating illustrative work. Me too. I like your bandana. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I feel like I started out as I mean, I'm a painter, right? And I actually studied painting and drawing in my undergrad. So I mostly did oil paintings, And then, I had a child, and I really put my practice on the back burner. And then when she was kind of, how old was she? Maybe like when she was little. So maybe like 4 or 5. I kind of, I raised my daughter as a single mom. And so I started to try to bring making back into my life because I had really put everything aside. And that's when I started doing, like, I did a lot of, I really discovered that I love craft. I think I've always kind of known that. I mean, I liked craft as a kid. I still like craft quite a bit. And craft is something that I always think about, like I want to incorporate it into my own artwork. But let's see if I can get that thingy right. I don't know what that is right there. Right there. Okay. So if by sketching this, I'm just going to show it to you up close, right? By sketching this little thingy, I can now come around those spaces and fill in those little gaps. So that's the goal. That's why I do that, just so that I can fill in the negative space. I'll know where to put it. Like, I don't think it needs to be perfect by any means. But yeah, I definitely like, I've noticed that I really like I like making paintings and stuff like that, but I really like I like illustration. I like design. I like graphic design quite a bit. That's why I think I'm always wanting to make like products or like things for that's why I have a shop, because I really like making things out of my illustrations. So, but I feel like, I don't know, I don't think I would really enjoy illustrating like professionally for someone else, because I feel like I don't want people to tell me what to draw. I want to draw whatever I want to draw, and that's that. So I'd probably be a terrible illustrator, which is why I will never do that. But I do enjoy the really graphic quality of like illustrations. I don't know, this is feeling not good to me. I'm feeling like I really hate this part right here. It's looking so, I'm gonna subtract a little bit. I feel like there's too much like little itty bitty lines. Let's see if I can remove some of that. I just feel like it looks too like sketchy. Let's see. Let me catch up with the chat here. So sorry. You're trying to finish some paintings of birds. Wow. Oh my gosh, a daily bird calendar. So cool. Sarah, I joined a bird watching group this year. I'm officially in a bird I'm in a bird, like an Audubon club. And we do bird watching. We go out and watch birds, And I got binoculars and everything, and I love birds. I like nature. I like to be outside. I'd be really curious, like, what your calendar looks like. I want to see it. Most artist moms struggle with putting their art on the back burner. Exactly. I worked for the government, raised 2 kids, and was doing plain air after work and on the weekends. Yeah, exactly. That's all. I mean, that's what you do, right? Currently working on a Western spine bill. I've already sketched most of them, so I'm just trying to paint practically. Yes. And are you using like paint, like actual paint? Or are you doing like your markers, or what are you doing? I love crafts. I mean, I love every kind of craft. In fact, I told my daughter, like, my birthday's coming up, and I was like, look, I really want to try. There's a few crafts that I've never tried that I really want to try. And I asked for a kit. I want to try stained glass. I've never done it, but I actually have a little bit of a background in metalwork because that's what I studied in college. That was part of what I studied in college. I took my 3-dimensional was metals. And see, like, I prefer this so much more, which is very, like, hardly anything, than that. Like, ugh, I don't like this at all. Which is really rare for me to have this kind of a reaction to my own drawing. Like, I usually don't hate what I do, but right now, this is, I drew too much. So I want to try stained glass, and I really want to try mosaic tiles. I saw some really beautiful was it in Mexico City, right? Tile work on the floor that was like designs and stuff, and I kind of want to do that in my backyard. So I was like, maybe I could learn how to do it, and it could just be like a project that I do for the rest of my life. Maybe like little bit, put a few tiles down and then come back to it and then do a little bit more. Yeah. Do you have all the Merlin bird ID? Oh, there's an app for that. Yes. I want to try stained glass. I want to try mosaics. I put another one. Oh, I want to try applique. I do like. I have a little bit of like a little bit of an ability to sew. So I'd like to. And one thing that's been on my list for a long time is I really want to learn. Oh, I got a good solution here. I really want to learn to quilt. I've never done it, but I feel like I would enjoy it. Ugh, I really don't like this part of the bandana. It's really, really giving me a crisis here. Now, does it matter if we don't like it? No, it's fine. But now I start to realize, okay, I'm just going to go over all of that because I don't like it. There. I'm just going to be I'm going to try to approach this a little bit more loose the way I normally do. I feel like I just did too much right there. You can see how different it looks. Maybe I can bring some white back in. That might be a good idea. Oh, okay. Well, this is helpful. That was a little better. Okay, that helped. Okay. We're getting somewhere. It's like, I just don't like it to look like so much stuff is in there. I want it to feel a little bit more like choppy. Oh, is she? Oh my gosh. I mean, the crafting, like there's so much possibility. And that's why I'm like, when I retire, you guys, it's going to be game on because I'm going to be just playing with every single whim. I do follow a lot of my whims. I feel like I'm very, fortunate in that way because I only have one child and she's pretty grown at this point. So now I can really just follow my whims. And I do. I do that. And so it's kind of like really a fun, like I just really want to explore everything. And sometimes I'll try things and I'll hate them. Be like, okay, that's not for me. But I think that I would really, really enjoy, I like learning. I'm a learner. So do I need to do all these things? No, but do I like to? Yes. So that's the most important thing to me. It's for me a lot about just enjoying making and trying things that are not that easy for me or that I'm not comfortable in so that I can see what else is out there. I just enjoy that. So I think I'll always be like my dad was definitely like this too. He's very much a tinkerer. He was just even retired, he was up every day real early and he was out tinkering with things. What was he doing? I don't know. We don't know. He was just playing around. That I feel like that's the future. That's my future. That's my future. I'm going to be a tinkerer forever. I just am. I like to just keep my hands busy. I get a lot of joy out of making. And so I feel like that's partially also why I really like craft. It's like there's something about creating a thing. And I've had this kind of mixed relationship with art since I was in undergrad where I was like, why am I making things? Why am I making paintings? Who cares, right? And it was I would rather be making an item, but now I have a different way of framing that for myself, and I appreciate a lot more, I think, through my studies in art history. I'm really grateful for that. It's been really fun. I don't know. I'm gonna try to fix that at some point in time, but I think she's going to stop right there. And it's 11:02. I didn't realize it's already 11. We've already made it through our hour. So all I got to do, and did I really do it well? I don't know. The jury is out on that. And, it doesn't really matter though. As long as I learned something for sure about this. And so I don't love that. I might put in a little bit more red. Show it to you up close because I don't know, maybe do you see how ugly it is on this side? Like I love this side more because it's more vague, and that one looks like I tried to draw everything out, and I don't like that. So it's okay, it's fine. When I have other things here, maybe we won't look at that so much. That this is the section I don't like. And the thing is that I really feel like I like to see like this. Let me point. I need something like with a skinny tip. I love to see like this, where these little kind of gaps of white paper are still like revealed. I love that. And here I feel like I just covered up too much. So there's almost like no way to redeem that, for me at least, right? But it's not that serious. It's an exercise, I'm learning, right? Every day I learn something, and or I hope every day I learn something. And I just learned something about my practice right there. I think I was just yapping too much, and I was like, I fell out of the zone, but it's okay. I'm okay with it. Let me see what is happening on the chat here. Quilting is making a comeback. Yeah, for sure. A lot of young people are being drawn to it. I think so. And I think also a lot of young people are being drawn to like the idea of, craft and I think quilt is kind of like, I don't know, it's this idea of like producing something, I like sewing with felt, like little dolls and ornaments. Oh, that's so cute. Yes. So I think that would be so cute. You used to dislike sewing, but you love creating your own. And, I feel like I don't love doing things like really small with my hands anymore, just because I'm older. My eyes are like I have to put on my readers and stuff like that. But I do think that I could get on my sewing machine. I'd be like happy there. Thank you. Thank you so much for liking it. I like the discussion today too. It was really fun. I think I could always tweak it in Photoshop. You are not wrong. Absolutely. Smart move. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. I really enjoyed your company today. And I love chatting today. So it was really fun. I do have another stream scheduled for tomorrow, and I have one for Wednesday, same time. Before I make any changes, I'm going to do this week, and then we'll make changes starting next week. So I'm thinking about the possibility of something just a little bit later, especially because there's like yoga classes that I want to take at this time of the day. So I'm like, I can do this like maybe around 2 p.m. or it could be evening. I think 2 works really well for people who are overseas, but I don't have a ton of patrons who are overseas, maybe about a handful. So I just want to make it available to them. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. It was a fun time. I will post some pictures of what I've completed just for your reference. And the pictures are on Patreon. So if you want to keep going with this, go for it. I'm going to try to wait till tomorrow to keep drawing here. And then we'll finish this up this week. So thank you so much for being here. 2 p.m. works great. Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, we will talk tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be here at 10 a.m. same time. I hope to see you guys then. Until then, I'll see you later. Bye.